PDO stands for PHP Data Object. It's a procedure we can use to work with database and PHP code. This PDO, it is somehow like advanced part of programming with PHP. You can make use of PDO and integrate almost 12 different types of database at the same time, while MySQLi can work with only MySQL database. So let's get started. First of all, we need to learn how can we be able to make connection, create a connection file between our page or our PHP code with database. So as usual, since it is PHP, we make sure that we put our file with the extension of PHP in it. So now we'll begin. We need to start with the opening tag of PHP, then closing tag of PHP. Then after that, we need to declare connection variables. So these are, number one, we can call it any name. So we can say server name, that is the name of the server. After the server name, now we will now create the variable. Next thing is we just put the name of the server, which is local host, because we are using local hosting. Then we'll now go to the next one, which is the username of that server. So this variable will hold the username for our server. So since I'm using XAMPP, so the default username is root. Then after that, we need to put the password of that localhost server. So the password now will be empty as default, unless when you set while you install your XAMPP. So these are the connection variables. Then the next is we need to create connection to the database. But before we create connection to the database, we need to go to our PHP MyAdmin. That is where we can be able to create our database and make use of it. So as usual, I'll just write localhost, then PHP MyAdmin. We just click on it, then it will open off. But make sure your XAMPP is on. So this is it here. So I will now click on new database, then I can call it class 1. That's it, class 1 database. I'll just click on create. So now class 1 database is created. So I'll now go back to our code. Now we can make a connection to it. So this connection, we need to create a variable that will contain the connection. So just click on it. We can say con, that is double n, say is equals to, then new PDO. That's it here. Write new PDO. Then we'll open a round bracket, we'll close the round bracket. Inside this round bracket, close the round bracket. Now we need to put two parentheses. I will need to put two double quotes. Then we now type MySQL, then host. There's it here. Is equals to, then our server name, that is this server name. So we'll now say equals to server name. So after this, now the next is we need to put semicolon. Now we give a space, then the DB name, we write it like this, DB name, that is the database name. So the database name, it will be, when we are creating our database, we give it a name here, that is the name class 1. So class 1 will now write the name to be class 1. So that is on this. Now the next thing to do is we need to put a dot. Now we want to concatenate, then we now put username, that is the username of the local host. After that, now we'll put a comma, then we'll also put the password. You remember we already included the password in all our connection variable. This is the connection variable we are using, this is the connection variable we are using. Here it is a comma, that's what you need at the end. Then after this, now we'll now put semicolon. So this is the connection, then this is the variable that is going to be holding the connection. So we'll be using this variable whenever we want to address this connection. So after this, now the next thing to do is we need to set PDO error mode to exception. That is, whenever we have any error, so it will now be executed very easily. So now what we'll do is we'll now put con, then we'll put that is our connection variable. Now we'll put dash, then we'll put this. That means we are referring to, we are now trying to say set attribute. So we'll set the attribute. We'll now open our to open and close bracket. So now we'll just put PDO, put double colon, then put attribute, that is the form of it. Then we'll now put underscore attribute, then we'll put underscore, then we'll now put error mode, that is it, error mode. That's it. Now the next thing to do is just put this comma and give a space. We can put another PDO colon, then error mode dot what, now put underscore exception. So at the end we put our semicolon. So now whenever we have any exception, that is any error not connecting, then it will easily get it from here for us. It will now display it for us. Else, then it will just say, that means if the connection is don't have any problem, there is not any flaw on the connection, so it will now give us a message. So we can say connected successfully. So remember all these things, it can easily give us what we want. But one more thing to do is, there is what we call in PHP, there is what we call try and catch. So we can put this to be in try, then we can also create a catch, therefore it will easily get the message and send to us. So for we to do that, now we'll now type something like this, try, open curly bracket and close it. So these three lines of code will now be shifted to our try and catch code. So we'll now cut it and place it here. So it will now try to do the connection. If there's any problem, it will throw the problem for us here. Then catch, the catch part, now it is the part that can just send us the message whenever we have any issue with our code that is in the try part. So we say exception, then we have $_in. This is a PDO exception, it's going to be PDO exception. Then the E variable now will take the exception. If there is any problem, it will be stored there. So now open two parentheses. Then inside now we'll echo in case if there is anything to echo in the exception. So now say connection, what connection, we can say connection failed. So we can put semicolon, colon in front. Then we can now concatenate it, that is to show what is actually the problem, why the connection is failed. So it will be, since it is stored inside this variable e, so it is going to be this variable e dot, there is a method that we use which is get message. That means it will now get the message, that is what is actually the cause, what is stored in that e variable. So that's it. That's all. So we can go and test it out and see. So this is it here. The name of our file, the name of our folder is PDO. So we'll now go to the browser and test it out and see. So this is it here. You can just say localhost, then the name of our folder is PDO. So since we created the file as index.php, so no need for us to write index.php. So just click on it. Once we do it is a undefined variable password in line 8, but connection successfully. So what we do now is we need to go and fix our code. On line 8 we say con, this is it here, password. So here instead of us to put 2 double s, I put 1 s. So I'll just fix it to be s. That's it. Just save it. So the error will now disappear. When I refresh it, it will say connection successful. So thank you very much for watching this video. So try to like the video. When you like the video, share it. After that, make sure you subscribe, because this is just the beginning. We just started with the connection. We have many things to do with PDO. PDO is very advantageous programming language that can allow us to do a lot of things within short period of time. We are even going to implement object-oriented programming with it. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe, please. See you in the next video. Thank you.